What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. Relationships can be full of ups and downs, good times and bad times, depending on the two individuals that's involved. Usually when you first meet somebody, they will always be on their best behavior and show you their good side, presenting themselves in a way you might feel like that's all I ever asked for, and then you fall in love. Years go by. Y'all might even make that big step and jump the broom. Now, as individuals, things change and people change. You might start noticing things about your life partner you're not feeling anymore. It could be something simple, like they procrastinate too much or cut the TV up too loud at night. Things that used to seem petty starts to really irk you because now you are with that person day after day. Some people understand the concept of marriage and will ride that out, and the small things won't matter. They get it's for better or for worse. But you have people that get tired, feel like the spark is gone, or the person they fell in love with has changed too much and they want to move on. A divorce can be hard, especially if one person is more done with the situation than the other. And if y'all hung in the same circle, share the same friends that know what's going on, that can be super messy. On this episode of Hood Tales, we will be taking it to Covington, Georgia to discuss a case of a man that snapped when he thought his homies was smashing his wife. Back in 2016, Deontay Hall was a 36-year-old married man. His wife, who we will call Morgan, and Deontay's relationship had become shaky over time and even volatile, to the point he would often get put out and not even be at the home they once shared together. As things seemed to get worse, Morgan decided it would be best they separated for a while, especially when Deontay became convinced she had been cheating on him during their marriage, including with people they knew. He would often come up to the house to confront her about being unfaithful, and things would get worse after he would use certain substances and become heavily under the influence. It became a pattern that Morgan had become used to. But on July 6, 2016, when Deontay stopped by the house, he seemed a little different than he usually did. He was acting strange, seemed disheveled and quiet. He once again accused Morgan of cheating with two brothers they both were cool with, 29-year-old Tony Butler and his brother LaVar. They had all been tight for years and practically grew up together. Deontay stated to Morgan in a quiet voice, "Since you playing with me and being unfaithful, go ahead and buy a black dress because there's about to be a lot of funerals." She brushed it off. Later that day, the two brothers, LaVar and Tony, along with another friend, stopped by to pick up Deontay, unaware of the fact he thought they was both smashing Morgan. The third man, Jeff, was sitting in the back seat of the truck with Deontay. LaVar was driving as Tony rolled shotgun. They noticed Deontay seemed different, kind of standoffish, as they rode, smoking, stopping at a few stores, and talking. Deontay seemed out of it, as he told the men he had been up for 3 days straight, popping pills and snorting lines. He was geeking and seeing blood. LaVar took that as a need to take Deontay back home to get himself together. But not too far from the house, a ringing sound went off from the back seat and Tony fell over. LaVar hit a curve after he realized the sound was a gunshot. Jeff jumped out in a panic and ran as LaVar realized Deontay had a high .9 pointing at him and had shot his brother Tony through the back seat of the truck. LaVar jumped out as he noticed Deontay pointing the gun at him, pulling the trigger, but it kept jamming. He then started chasing him around the car, aiming and trying to get the blick back working, before smacking LaVar with it while yelling out, "Y'all two smashing my wife," saying all I see is red right now. Realizing the gun wasn't working and wasn't going to shoot and police probably was coming, Deontay quickly ran through the neighborhood. LaVar quickly turned his attention to his brother Tony, who had been bleeding heavily, suffering from a bullet to the chest. He tried to drive him to a nearby hospital, but ran into traffic. in which he stopped the truck, yelled for help while performing CPR on his brother and trying to stop the bleeding. Ambulance would finally arrive and rush Tony and LeVar to the hospital as he had deep gashes from being hit with the blick. Back in the neighborhood, Deontay could be seen running around and demanding rides from people and neighbors. After being turned down, he ran into the woods. A neighbor called police, who arrived to the location, but Deontay was gone. At the shooting scene, they found spent 9mm casings, a green bag with a bullet hole through it, and other evidence. Back at the hospital, LeVar was okay, but unfortunately, Tony would not survive his injuries. Later that night, Deontay called his sister and told her he had to handle a situation with dudes messing with his wife. About 3 weeks would go by when Deontay was tracked down and arrested in Rockdale County, Georgia. During the interview with police, he stated, "Man, I don't know what happened, but the brothers did have beef with some country boys from out of town. I think that was them who pulled up shooting." But the evidence pointed to the shots coming from inside the car. Deontay was eventually charged with first-degree hit, attempted hit, assault, and possession of a firearm while in commission of a felony, and while being a convicted felon. While waiting to go to trial, Jeff, the third passenger in the truck that day of the shooting, would be arrested on his own unrelated case. While talking to Deontay, he allegedly told him, "I'ma just tell them they finessed the country boys and they came back for some get back," in which Jeff later gave that information to police. As the case made its way to trial, LeVar testified about him and Deontay growing up together and how he did that to his brother Tony. He also stated he was trying hard to kill me as well, but the gun kept jamming. Morgan also took the stand. When asked was she having an affair with Tony or LeVar, she stated no, that Deontay had become insecure and paranoid. She also told about the black dress statement that he made. Eventually, at 38 years old, Deontay was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to life in prison plus an additional 10 years. Rest in peace to Tony. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to his family. I know a lot of men and women keep their significant others away from their friends so signals won't get crossed or someone starts to feel jealous. But it seems like Deontay was insecure and didn't want the relationship to end. If you that worried about your partner cheating on you, you should definitely leave the situation or not agree to bring your friends to the house. As men, we gotta control our emotions, even in the most uncomfortable and hurtful situations. If Morgan was smashing the brothers, Deontay should have just left, as the marriage had already seemed done. I know it's a respect and loyalty type thing, but it's better being free and feeling crossed than to be sitting in a cell with life plus 10 years feeling the same way. If the investigation was right, neither one of the brothers ever touched Morgan. It seemed like Deontay was just geeking and paranoid. So remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Tony, man. This is a crazy story. I know sometimes as men, our feelings get hurt too. But you gotta understand, as a man, it's always your job to keep it clear, keep them emotions intact, and keep it moving. You might have felt crossed in a situation if she was doing that, but at that point, you understand what's going on. You keep it moving. You cut everybody off, and you still out here free. It's a million other women out here. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Definitely be respectful. This is another episode of Hood Tales. I appreciate you if you made it to the end, fam. Y'all already know it's all love. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.